Welcome to Meaningful Mondays with the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, where we only know good people who do great things in our community. Whether you are a volunteer, a donor, or a nonprofit organization, each episode of Meaningful Mondays will celebrate you, our friends and neighbors who have a deep passion for and commitment to improving the quality of life for all in Middlesex County. So let's kick off the week with great conversations with remarkable people, businesses, and nonprofits making a difference right in our own backyard. It's Meaningful Monday, everyone, and we at the Community Foundation only know good people who do great things. And one of my favorite great people who does great things is Ramona Burkey of the Russell Library. So Ramona, I'm so glad you agreed to do this with me. It's just wonderful to see you, although I'd rather see you live and in person, but we'll make that happen. So, Ramona, it's your turn to brag. Because every time we have coffee or tea or lunch or whatever, I learn something new about you and about the Russell Library. So I think it's about time to let the rest of the world in Middlesex County and beyond know how great you are and how great the Russell Library is. And just a little plug for all libraries. We think that they're the center of the universe in every town and city where they are. And I know you do too. So I'll start out with my first question is, how the heck did you get involved with the library?
Well, it all started, I would say back in 8th grade. I grew up in Belfast, Maine, a little mid-coast town, and I was a reader my whole life. Surprise, surprise. I used the public library all the time. And I ended up winning the state of Maine spelling bee. And I'm not going to say what
my gosh, we need to get you a medal now. Or do you have those on in your cabinet behind you?
I don't think I do, but so that was my big celebrity moment at age 13 or so. I went to the National Spelling Bee, but I did not win that. But I came home with a big full set of Encyclopedia Britannicas and
Oh my gosh.
fame, maybe not fortune, but the library director in Belfast, Maine, obviously had seen that this had happened and said, well, she might be a really good person to hire to shelve books, right? She obviously knows how to spell. She knows her alphabet. They had seen me in the library during my childhood. So at age 14, excuse me, I became a shelver at the Belfast Free Library in Belfast, Maine. And, libraries kind of just get in your blood.
They really sort of envelop you. It's like the book cover, goes around the human being.
Exactly. So I shelved at the library during high school, went off to college, got a degree in anthropology, and got to thinking when I was around a senior in college, well, what am I going to do with this anthropology degree? It was great. It was lovely. I had a wonderful time, but feel like libraries are calling me. So I got a master's degree in library science at Southern Connecticut State University. Right out of that degree, I became a children's librarian, which there are a shocking percentage of library directors who started off as children's librarians.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the joke is, if you can handle a room full of 2-year-olds at story time, you can handle a room full of
anything. Oh my gosh.
And I became the head of children's at the Manchester Public Library, and that's a position that's also the assistant director. So I kind of got my feet wet as an assistant director, as an administrator there. Became a library director. I was library director at Cheshire Public Library for 13 and a half years before I came here to Russell Library. And I've been here about 6.5 years.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That time has gone by fast.
It has. It has.
And you just recently had a very interesting project called the Library Crawl. Do I have that right?
We did the library card crawl.
Oh, okay.
So every year, September is library card sign up month. We try to do a big drive of getting people registered with library cards and understanding the value of what that library card can bring you. So Saturday, September 21st, just this past Saturday, was our library card crawl, first ever. Gotten a lot of buzz about it. People have been contacting us like, oh, we see you did this library card crawl. So, I expect that'll
Describe
happen
what it
more.
is, because, the
Yeah.
library card crawl.
So you came to the library, show your library card to get into all sorts of different events for all ages. So an owl program on the Secret Lives of Owls, hugely popular. Nintendo Switch, free play. So come on in and play Nintendo Switch games at the library. A meet and greet with the Eastern Connecticut Paranormal Society, who has
Oh
been
my
to
gosh.
our library twice overnight with all of their instrumentation and people who are, able to gauge how spirited our library is. And we are very spirited. We're not haunted, but we're very spirited.
Interesting.
Yes. Fire safety program, guided meditation, canine bear from Middletown Police Department,
Right.
magic show. So it's, just tons and tons of stuff all day. All you have to do is come in and either get a library card or show your library card. If you're from out of town, you can show you can show your library card from that town. So it's really just celebrating all that libraries do and have to offer.
Which is a great lead in to you just stated so many different things going on in one place. There are so many things going on in one place at the library. So describe for the folks who haven't been to a library lately, what you and your fellow librarians and libraries do for the community.
Mm. We really, and you hit the nail on the head when you said we're the center of the universe, but definitely the center of our community.
Right.
It is, it's a central place. It is a free space to attend. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to buy a coffee or a meal or, anything to come into our space and just be. And that's why we tend to get people of all ages, all walks of life.
You get the community.
We get the entire community.
Right.
And the magic that happens is when folks from all different segments of our community interact at the library. One of the most amazing things that we've done recently, last summer and also this summer, is something called Crafternoons. These are intergenerational programs that anyone can come to, any age, use the materials that we provide either to paint or to do, some other kind of a craft project together all in one room. And that's amazing because we get 3-year-olds and we get 93-year-olds.
Oh my gosh, that is, and in this day and age when we're so segregated or, we're just tied to our devices, just being together, making something and having a conversation.
Exactly.
You're right, it's magical.
It is. It is. So that's gratifying. And, the way that I came up through libraries, that's what it's all about for me, right? You've got your community, and that is just fostered by the public library.
So really, we could say from cradle to almost grave, you cover everything. Are there things that you wish the general public knew about the libraries? The hidden secrets of what libraries are all about? I mean, and I have to tell you, every time I speak to a librarian, and we love all of you in Middlesex County, the word magical keeps on coming up. So you all must have had some course when you were getting your master's degree that said it's magic. It's not library science, it's library magic.
I think it's more like all of the things that librarians do, and I want to emphasize librarians, and by that I mean all library staff, whether they have the title librarian or not.
Right.
The things that they do add up to more than the sum of those parts, and that's where the magic happens. It's a synthesis, right? So, but what people might not know about public libraries, most libraries in Connecticut are fine free now, so we don't charge overdue fines. The point is we want people using the resources, and sometimes we lose resources, whether through attrition or somebody moves and they never come back and they still have the book checked out or what have you. But we don't want to lose the patrons, right?
Right.
It's really about the people and not the stuff. So whereas in previous, centuries or decades, we were kind of gatekeepers, we're really not in that role anymore. That really has improved our relations with our customers, right? With our patrons. So that's wonderful. Um, and I think just, people don't necessarily know that libraries provide things like online, digital, streaming, videos or ebooks or audiobooks and magazines, things that they don't have to come into the library to check out, but still might be actually something that's really useful for them. I use the example of ebooks in particular because a lot of people have low vision. And with a regular paper book, it's really hard. You have to have a device to magnify it or, clunky glasses or something like
Right.
that. With an ebook, you can easily change the font type, the font size, the brightness, the contrast, etc. And that's hugely useful for people with visual issues. Um, you mentioned Secrets of Libraries. Can I make a plug for our Secrets of Russell Library program,
Please
Val?
do. I told you it's your turn to brag, but I want to get back to before I
Yes,
forget. You mentioned resources, and
yes.
resources at the libraries I've
Mhm.
noticed have changed dramatically since the pandemic. So let's go into the secrets of Russell Library.
The Secrets of Russell Library is a something we do. We're in our third year. We do it every October, and it's an opportunity after hours for people to come in. Slightly spooky library tours and presentations. I mentioned the paranormal, results at the Russell Library. This year we'll have costumed characters, actually actors, playing roles of people from different periods in Russell Library's history. So,
Oh my
go
gosh,
around
what
different
fun.
areas, and then there'll be people telling stories or interacting with each other. Um, and that is October. I want to make sure I get the date right. 25th and 26th. Is that the Friday and Saturday? I don't want to misspeak. Um, Yes, it is October 25th and 26th, and you can go on our website to register for one of those sessions.
What fun.
Free to attend. And also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention our memory box. The memory box, we call it, is a place where people can bring their old family VHS tapes or slides or photographs or anything that they want to make sure they can preserve for the future. Obviously, those are physical media and they can degrade. And it's harder and harder to actually find the technology to view those anymore. So for free, you can bring your items in and digitize them. We'll show you how to use our equipment. Put them in digital form, whether it's on a thumb drive or uploaded to, Dropbox or your Google Drive or something. That's the kind of thing that if you were to send those off to a private company to do, it would
Right.
be tremendously expensive. And you're sending your precious memories off in the mail somewhere.
I know, I
Um,
know.
that it's been so amazingly popular here at Russell Library, and we're looking forward to being able to expand the offerings that we do with that, and just some of the stories that we've heard from people as they use the memory box have been incredibly touching.
Well, I was going to say what a kind and thoughtful service to offer. And then, I mean, talk about being a resource, but I have noticed the changes in the library since the pandemic. I mean, you were forced to do that, but some of the libraries lend out toys now. And so tell us what you did during the pandemic, because I know you pivoted very quickly to
Absolutely.
serve your patrons.
Absolutely. So definitely beefed up our online offerings. We did curbside service. We implemented a personalized recommendation service called Book Match. Not Matchbook, but Book Match, where people could tell us, oh, I don't really know what to read next. I need recommendations, whether it's a child or a teenager, adult, a senior, what have you. But here's what I kind of have liked in the past. Okay, library staff, come up with some recommendations for me and I'll just come pick them up. That's been very popular. We do book bundles, so you'll see them in the lobby. There are these bundles of, 4, 5, 6 books, all on kind of a similar theme. It could be Irish mysteries or, anything, it's kind of quirky and interesting, and you can just check out the whole bunch of them.
Oh my gosh. I mean, turnkey, but also getting to know your patrons even more and what
Exactly.
their likes are.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Now,
One of, yeah, go ahead.
oh, no, go ahead.
Well, one of the other things we did was during the pandemic, people wanted to be a little bit more socially distanced, right? That was
Right,
obviously the goal. And we actually purchased a bunch of Chromebooks, which we still have, and people can check out inside the library. So if you don't want to sit kind of in our computer center,
right.
you can actually check out a Chromebook for the entire day and bring it wherever you want in the library and use our Wi-Fi, for free. And that way you can kind of make yourself comfortable wherever you like.
Ramona, I think you've thought of everything. And when I talk to Sarah at Habitat for Humanity, I always say that I feel like Habitat is the warm blanket around the family getting the home. I feel like the libraries are the warm book cover to keep everybody protected and learn more about themselves.
Yeah.
Now I lost my train of thought, but I know that the librarians have several conferences that you go to and share ideas. Are there universal challenges across the board now, things that you never expected to happen?
Yeah, there's definitely it's not even an upswell, it's a surge in nationwide in sort of coordinated challenges to books on library shelves. And that's either public libraries, school libraries, what have you.
Yeah,
So it is, primarily targeted at various topics, including LGBTQ
right.
topics, DEI topics, those sort of topics. So it's challenging for librarians. It's been very stressful. And it's, I don't think it's remiss of me to say that it's indicative of kind of the times that we live in. And,
Right. And it's really too bad, although I do think what you're doing with the conversations and your crafternoons, I love that term. You always have great terms. I
yeah.
just really, whoever does all of you, I'm sure at the top, your influence trickles down, but you're very creative. Just getting people together,
Yeah. Yeah.
makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that there are some plans coming up for the Russell Library, so tell us a little bit about those.
So two things. Very soon we will be going live, getting people signed up to participate in Dolly Parton's Imagination Library here in Middletown.
Great.
Through the Russell Library, and it's actually funded. The first couple of years are funded by an American Rescue Plan Act grant through the city of Middletown. Very excited. We're already partnering with the Rotary Club, Middletown Rotary.
Right.
So I've been in contact with Lakeisha Hyatt about that, and we're ready to go. We're just dotting our I's and crossing our T's. So that's a program where children under the age of 5 who live in Middletown can register to get a book sent to their home at no cost to their family every single month until they reach the age of 5.
I love it.
It's fantastic, right? And we want every single child in Middletown to be able to come to the Russell Library, obviously, get their card, check out books, but sometimes you can't. Or this is also just a great supplement to folks who are already using the library. The number one predictor of success later in life, this was a huge global study that was done years ago, is not the education of the parents. It's not the socioeconomic class that the child grew up in. It's not any of these factors. The number one indicator is the number of books in that child's home from early on through their childhood. So this is another way to get books into kids' homes. We absolutely need our babies having books. So very excited about that. We're also just we are in a 200-year-old building in parts here at Russell Library, and it's showing. We've got a lot of challenges, and so the next phase of our planning process towards rebuilding our library on this current site will happen in early October. We will be going out into the community again to build on the work that we've been doing in the community so far. People will have the opportunity to look at conceptual plans, make further comments about what they think are the most critical aspects of a new rebuilt Russell Library as we go through the process, and hopefully at some point, take it to the voters and see if that's something they want to move forward with.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, so those sessions will be held on October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, like I said, around the community. And there's more information on our events calendar. If you go to russelllibrary.org and click on events on those dates in October.
You know what, Ramona? You must be energized when you go home.
Yeah.
So, what books are you reading to chill? Any recommendations for all of us?
Yes. Okay. So I don't typically read fantasy. Okay. But we keep seeing on the bestseller list, Rebecca Yarros. Okay. She has written, I think it's a trilogy, this series of books that takes place in this fictional fantasy war college where these people, learn to fly dragons, and it's all very, not what I typically read. The first of the series is called The Fourth Wing. It was published a few years ago, and it's fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's of that sort of generation that, the people who grew up with Harry Potter and, the fictional sort of, fantasy school kind of place. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. So I also recently read James by Percival Everett, which is the retelling of Huckleberry Finn from the point of view of the enslaved person, the enslaved man, Jim. That was fascinating and amazing. And I want to read more of Percival Everett's books now too. So yeah.
Well, Ramona, okay, so if let's just tick it off. Libraries are magical. Libraries are the center of the universe. There isn't one age group that you don't touch. So there are multiple activities to be had, and you're a resource for great reading. So I don't know what's wrong with any library. Nothing, as far as I'm concerned. So what are you looking forward to in the next couple of months? After all of this.
Yeah, well, we are going to be remodeling slightly our lobby this fall, kind of around Thanksgiving time, which is great. We'll get new carpet and a new desk and some cafe tables and chairs, again through an ARPA grant. That'll be a nice kind of zhuzhed space for our public to hang out and for our staff to work in. So really looking forward to that. Our staff actually, every year we partner with the Middletown Community Thanksgiving Project. We are responsible mostly for those cans of yams that go into the Thanksgiving boxes. Russell Library, we're there with the yams, and that's our staff, our board, our friends of the library. And I have to make a pitch for the Friends of the Russell Library. Join the Friends. If you're not in Middletown, you can join the Friends in your town of your library. It's a very, very easy and small way that you can help your local library. Our friends are fantastic. Like I said, we're really looking forward to Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. That's going to be transformative for our community.
My gosh, you're never bored.
Never bored. I know. It must be so great to work in a library. It's so quiet and peaceful. Like, no,
never.
We're hyper.
Well,
I can't tell you how many times I've been shushed while at my job.
You have made our Meaningful Mondays magical. I can't thank you enough for joining us. And I hope you spread this, you put this up on your website and spread the good word about all the great work that you're doing. Thank you for being a great person doing great things.
You too. Thank you, Cynthia. And thank you to the Community Foundation.
Happy to help. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Meaningful Mondays. At the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, we know that philanthropy matters and philanthropy works. Together we support the arts, education, human services, animal welfare, the environment, heritage enhancements, and so much more by providing services, programs, and grants to our local nonprofits. We invite you to learn more and share your passion with us. Visit us at middlesexcountycf.org or contact us at 860-347-0025. Together we can make great things happen.